And whatever you do, don't let it fall into the wrong hands.
Okay, I just need to get back into character.
Me.
Yeah.
Paul, how you doing sheet-wise?
I think I'm there for the better parts of whatever's needed. I'll find out what I needed when it begins to smell.
It begins to smell. Okay, cool. I'll do a little introduction and partly help myself remember. You guys had just burst eventually into the sort of central forge and smelting room, stealthily hid behind a illusion that was placed here that looked a lot like this crane down here, but just placed here. And then Jax took over the mind of one of these distant fire newts and convinced it to randomly attack its neighbors, which went quite well. And eventually you had conquered this entire room's worth of fire newts. And Akal turns to you and goes, "Whew, well, this is going pretty well. This is going pretty well." And at that moment, you hear heavy stomping footsteps in a room that is already filled with substantial mechanical devices moving incredibly heavy things. This stomping noise manages to pierce through that sound. And that is when the character Caesar Chameleon enters through this southern entrance and seems to be out of breath in searching. Would you like to describe your character and how you react, please, Dan?
So Caesar Chameleon, all you can see when you see him for the first time is a man, well, no, not a man, a dwarf, who's in a like traditional Japanese looking like loincloth for a sumo wrestler, and that's all that he's got on. But you can see in his hands that he's also carrying his trusty step-out folding ladder, which he uses to quickly stand upon to be the same height as I presume everyone else, because I don't know what their races are, to proclaim
Everyone
to them.
is short.
he is a short man, but he doesn't like it. He stands on top of his ladder and goes, "Oh my god, I'm out of breath. Guys, I heard the ruckus. I've just broken out of a cell just down the way. But my mate, a wizard, he needs our help getting out."
Another average-sized man that we can assist.
Yeah.
Dude, I say looking up at you.
Like, what? You're only just below average. What's the problem?
Just in case, you can, if you know how, Dan, you can put your token onto the playing space. It's not strictly necessary yet, but you can give it a go.
There we go.
There you go.
You're down
Cool.
there.
And at this point,
how do I make the token?
as you guys are greeting Caesar, you see this look on Scroungemore's face that says, "Really? More hijinks? What the hell is this?" And he says, "All right, guys, I'm out."
No, Scroungewell, don't leave.
No, don't
you mean
leave.
so
Please
much
don't.
I'm
to
gonna
us.
go
No,
find
no.
Scrubagog and play cards.
Yeah, exactly.
You're leaving like this.
The only way to
character?
describe his exit is kind of like if Chandler from Friends finally snapped and just stormed out. That's kind of what it feels
wait.
like.
Before you go, can I have your food?
Food?
Wait, leave the bag.
What bag was he holding?
I don't know,
Yes.
rations, anything he's got.
Okay,
No, Eddie, that was a pun. What bag was he holding?
And he says distantly through this chamber down here, "Fine, they're on the ground. Ground.
I sprint
All right.
for the food.
So do I. Not for the food. I'm going for the bag, and I'll be like,
Okay, as you see these two characters that are both small in stature. No, that's not true. It's only Jax.
we've just met the guy, yeah. So I'm not going to be messing around with the bag. I'm like, okay, I'll carry the bag. But anyway, I'll look up at this new dwarf who's just shown up. Because Dan, just to give you a description, let me show you a picture first of all that should outline.
Where are you putting it in Discord?
Please
No,
let
I'll
it
put
be
it
a
on the map.
hand. Like, I would love it if it was a sketch done by you in your spare time.
Oh, no, it's just this one.
I've been told that you're essentially Jack Black.
I am 2'9"
3'1" in
or
heels.
3 foot in heels.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if you were going to make that joke. Sorry.
Eddie, you ruined it.
I'm 2'9", but I'm 3 foot tall in heels.
Okay.
I'm not
I
wearing
think he's
heels.
slightly below average despite being 5 feet tall or just over. Can't remember exactly
Eddie,
tall I am.
Eddie, you're tall, right? Or
I'm like
reason-
5 foot something. I'm not crazy
Yeah.
tall, but I'm like 5'2" or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm
What
a
are you,
high
Ed?
elf. I'm a high elf.
You're
High in stature
high
and social
elf.
ranking.
I'm a below average high elf, but I think that approximately how tall are gnomes? I think gnomes are average
like
size.
3'6", I think.
Yeah,
Which is
probably-
why I called Dan an average size, presumably,
Yeah.
or possibly above average, depending on how tall dwarves are.
Yeah,
Also,
Eddie
how tall my
Eddie-
my stepladder is.
Yeah.
I don't need your stepladder to call you above average.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Eddie thinks he's a giant because he thinks gnomes are normal size.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, I say. Well, We were sitting down having a short rest. We just had a pizza that we cooked over the
Over the smoldering magma.
over the smoldering magma. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, come here. You look like a guy who likes his food.
I just slapped my stomach. Go. I can tell we're gonna be friends.
All right, if you just had to break out somewhere, come sit down. Tell us what's going on over a pizza and a rest, and we'll figure this out.
Sure.
Don't eat too much pizza, because it's good.
Grab myself a slice of pizza.
Yeah.
I'm like, right. So I've been stuck in this cell with the professor for years. They've been trying to get some knowledge out of me on how all these dwarven machineries work, but honestly, I didn't even pay attention during those classes, and I just told them a whole bunch of fibs. So they basically don't know anything, but it doesn't stop me from being stuck in the cell. But they didn't even know that for dwarven cells to function, you need to all up the little doors. So eventually, they just rusted. But my mate, his one's a bit jammed, so we need to break him out a bit.
You just happened to break out exactly as we came here.
Hey, I don't believe in coincidences.
Neither do I. I like this man.
So, tell me, what's this getup you got on? Are you some kind of baby?
Have
you
you never
guys see
seen
that?
Have you never seen a sumo wrestler?
Does that work when I share his tile with everyone?
It does. It
Yeah,
does.
okay.
It does. That works
It just
beautifully.
brought the picture up. That's great.
Excellent.
Uh,
No, I'm not a baby.
Let me see
You
if I
seen
know
my
about
beard?
dwarven
You seen a
sumo
baby
wrestling.
before?
I mean, I
You
think
wanna
that's
do
horribly
some sort
offensive.
of-
Clearly, this man is so poor that he couldn't afford clothes and isn't good enough to steal them either.
I would say if you want to know about dwarven sumo wrestling, you could try and make a history check to see how well familiar you are with the rules.
Yep, I did. Oh, I rolled it, but I did under talking to myself because I had that on to test some macros. I got 16.
Oh, really? How come I can't see it in the chat?
I had talked to myself on. I could just roll another one.
Oh, okay, cool. I can just take your word for it. Oh, wow.
Better.
Glad you rolled again.
He'll reroll. He'll reroll.
The talk to myself macro basically says whatever you put in the text won't show up for anyone else, so that you
Gotcha.
can test macros.
Gotcha. Okay, with a 23, you recall vividly over the what's the word? Over the crowded tavern that you grew up in, learning to brew and make snacks. You heard tale of some of the locals basically recounting the exact rules of how dwarven sumo wrestling works. Round 1, you have to push them out of the circle, and then blah 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 blah.
Not only that, I had a collectible card game about the history of dwarven sumo wrestling.
Was Caesar Chameleon one of those cards?
No, I think it would probably have all been dated, so it's like at least 50 years old legends.
Yeah, he could be an up-and-comer, but being a dwarf, he might be 250.
It's impossible to tell.
How old are you, Caesar?
I'll be like, hey, dude, you look like... Dan, do you want to make up a name, or shall I?
I know, like I did have Tiger Millionaire earlier as like the epitome of wrestling.
I'm not putting a Steven Universe reference in.
I did. Oh
You look
shit! I
like-
did that.
You look like Golden Groat O'Donnell.
The
Oh
Irish
wow, he was my
dwarf sumo.
childhood hero.
Oh, and I go shuffling in my pack. I'm like, oh no, dude. Oh, I left all my cards behind with this kid in my town, but oh, dude, I have a card of that guy. And we spend the next 15 minutes talking about sumo, and I actually learn how the fight works rather than how the card game works.
Paul, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Understood. Let me see if I work out how this thing works. One moment, please. Constitution saving throw. So that
You
one.
sounded like the. Oh, perfect. That's weird. Okay, I'm gonna take the
rolled a
first.
advantage.
The
I
first
don't know
one.
what
No,
the.
it always
so
gives the-
I had disadvantage clicked.
Oh, right.
Okay,
Okay,
because
so
usually the
19
first one
ones.
isn't grayed out. I'm used to seeing two, but grayed out is weird. Okay,
It's
sweet.
just, I think advantage it
Yeah.
grays out the lower one. Disadvantage grays out the higher one. I think it's
Okay,
just
with a
to make it more
19,
obvious.
your character's name is. Sorry, remind me.
Professor Fleeb.
Professor Fleeb.
Oh, B,
with a,
isn't it?
with a
I spelled it with a
19.
D myself.
With a 19, you manage to contain the diarrhea that is afflicting your body as a result of malnourishment.
Oh god.
But you managed to
then-
hold it together, so that's good.
And so I tell Caesar, we wrap up the short rest that we were taking as he showed up,
Lovely.
and had him take part in it. It's like, I stand up, like, brush myself off, pick up my shield, and it's like, all right, dude, you want to rescue friends? I'm all about that kind of stuff. You gotta stick with the band, right?
If Jax
Right.
is one thing, it's a friend rescue.
I look around and realize it's just me and Jax. We're the band?
We're the band. Hey, that dude, he couldn't cut it. He didn't know what it takes to rock. I'm talking about Scroungemore running away.
Yeah, I got that.
I mean, I play the. What do I play? The sword.
I mean,
I
a
could
ba-
probably
a
play
band doesn't
anything.
have to
really.
be a musical band.
Yeah, no, I can play whatever. Hand me an instrument, easy peasy. Don't worry about it.
Woodblock.
I think
I'll play
like
the fuck out of a woodblock if you want.
at this point, I think Caesar's gonna start like drumming on his on the top of his step ladder and start like walking towards where the professor is.
Yeah, so we
Okay.
gather up.
Cool.
Well,
go
well,
with
if he's
He leads
if
you
he's,
back
if he's
down
imprisoned, we
this
should
way,
be sneaky like, right?
and he leads you across this sort of. How do I describe it? It looks like it's not designed for people to get across, but it's like a series of chained buckets that you can sort of hand over hand your way across. And the alternative, Caesar describes, is to go this way by the giant striders, but he assessed that direction to be risky, so that's why he went that way.
Fair.
But
Yeah,
if
we
you can,
don't.
if you can figure out any other way to get across, you're open to try it, but that's the way that Caesar Chameleon took to get across.
Okay. Well, lead the way, dude.
So I came here over the exciting bucket fun ride. So
Yes,
are
exactly.
you guys up for that, or do you want to go a different way?
Me a bucket.
I think the only option is the bucket fun ride because I've described it as super fun. So let's go.
Okay,
man.
cool.
Okay.
That's what I
Caesar
do. Get in a
Chameleon-
bucket.
Caesar Chameleon doesn't need to make the check because he sort of is from this forge, so it's a pretty practiced thing. But everybody else needs to do an athletics check.
Athletics.
Yes.
So is this run by anything? Hold on, before you make a check.
Nope. Made a check anyway.
Well, I'm gonna be letting people go one at a time and giving you bardic inspiration,
Oh, okay.
probably. But I want to just know a little bit about the mechanism here. Is this operated in any way? Are there any mechanisms here that you could use to like make the buckets go around?
It seems like they could be moved, but the mechanism doesn't seem to be moving at the moment, and you're not sure where it's activated from.
Is there any way that I can like have a quick look around, see whether there's any switches to?
Yeah, actually, I would say because you know this place pretty well, you would know that it sort of activates in time with this crane thing. So whenever the crane finishes its like cycle, this thing moves ahead one bucket. So it's sort of like a slow clicking, turning over type of mechanism.
I'm already making my way over.
Okay, yeah, with a 12, you managed to scramble across, sweat pouring off of your face, but you managed to get across successfully.
That's the scramble way. Scramble away.
So this is just a bunch of buckets, like two rows of buckets, one going one way and the other going the other way.
It's a single row of buckets. You get the sense that maybe it changes direction at one point, but it only seems to be going one direction.
Okay. I am going to take some rope and tie it and loop it over the top before I go, and then try and climb across, just so that if I do fall,
you've got a rope.
I'm at least dangling on this rope, yeah.
Okay, go for it. Akal says, excellent. This should be great sport. He seems to be really having fun now that he's actually on the way to saving his ancestral forge. So give us a... Oh, yeah, with a 19.
Nice.
You go so fast that the rope is... What's the word? Fluttering in the wind behind you. Okay.
And then, I
that's what, dude.
Across that.
You do what, sorry?
Yeah. I'm just like, now see, if I didn't have the rope, I would have struggled there.
That's the kind of thinking that... Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. With a 4, you watch Akal try to cross this thing, get a little overly excited, and then start to fall.
Oh, can I give him his bardic inspiration now?
Is that a thing that your inspiration does? Like, can you do
it just lets him add to the... So if I'm giving it to everyone who's crossing, they can add it to their roll once they've made their roll.
Sure, I'll let you. What's the... He
gets to roll a d8. I can do that now.
Okay. You want to do it?
Sure.
Your fate is in his hands. Oh!
He gets a 6!
Even with a 6, he starts falling into the lava below, taking immense amounts of damage.
Dude, why didn't you use the rope?
Can I go up to the side?
Can we try and grab him?
Yeah, I'm gonna go up to the side and hand my ladder down to him, which has the stats and length of a spear, to see whether he can grab on.
Okay, you're going to give him advantage as he falls, because it's only about a 5-foot gap. So you're going to give him advantage as he makes this sort of dexterity save to try and grab your ladder. How about that? Let's give that a go. Okay. Let's see if Akal can pull through here. Where's his sheet? All right, character sheet.
I've only met you for the last 3 minutes. You better grab on, boy.
Never has an incongruous stepladder been more helpful. So as he falls to his probable death, he reaches out a stubby dwarven hand and grabs the top rung of your stepladder, and he says, "Oh, okay, I need to calm down. That was too much. Thank you, stranger whose name I forget."
Dude, I just showed you about the rope.
I know. I can't believe I wasn't paying attention. Okay, all right. So I need to relax. Okay, the rope. Okay, all right. He seems to have lost his sense of joviality. He's got all this nervous energy, and he says, "Okay, let's help your friend."
All right, dude. So that
classic
was cool.
Carl nearly dying.
But when you might fall into lava, maybe use a rope.
Okay, rope. Let me just tie that rope.
You're not used to scrambling. Use a rope.
Yeah. He goes to pick up the bit of. Do you still have that rope on you?
Yeah.
Okay. He goes to take it from you. Can I have it for next time we try that?
I mean, you can have some of the rope, but yeah, we'll pass it. We'll make sure it all works.
Okay. All right. I'll remember. I need something to. And he starts like taking out a bit of charcoal and writing on his hand like he's a 7th grade student.
Rope.
Yeah. Exactly. Rope. Awesome. Okay.
Oh, have we got a bag of holding from Scroungemore now?
Did he have one?
I saw it on his sheet, but I'm
Okay.
not sure if that's.
I'll say, oh yeah, he does have one. Okay, so I'll say when he dropped the rations that you asked, and he was yelling over his shoulder back through the tunnel, he also dropped the bag of holding, like because the rations are probably inside the bag of
Oh,
holding.
we can do so many cool things with that. We can put on so many shows on the road.
Because there's still so much food in there.
Cool. All right, so he leads you. Caesar Chameleon leads you down this passageway, and you guys can move your tokens if you like. And he leads you to these cells over here. Wait for it.
I would suggest we went this way when we first came down the stairs. We would have had 2 more friends to help deal with the fire newts.
No, we wouldn't.
I
Well-
say in character.
Dude, that's you can't just undo the plot like this.
Hey, I can say whatever I want as long as it could have been true.
Okay,
As long
so
as it's true
you,
now and not then, I'm fine.
as you cross this sort of like, what do I call it? Like a U-turn, you notice to your left, sort of south on the map, sorry, you're in hidden land, you notice this double minecart track continues further into the darkness, and you smell like it smells a little bit like a stable, but much more wild than that. This weird mixture of like animal smells coming wafting through that tunnel, and it's kind of surprising given that everything else smells like metal.
Your friend's that way, presumably.
No, he leads you up to this cell here, and
Oh,
if you want to
my
put
bad.
your icon, Paul, in whichever of these cells you feel is more likely to be yours, then you can...
Oh, how do I put myself in? Is that a thing?
If you
Oh,
click
yeah,
on
there you
your-
go.
Yeah, there
Perfect.
you go. Click and drag.
Cool. So you see this disheveled, slightly skinny human wizard sort of like curled in the corner trying to keep all the nourishment he can inside his body. And you see this sort of ragtag group of your sumo neighboring cell companion, a very, very short, bard-looking fancy fellow, a tall high elf that looks kind of like he's not really paying attention, and
All that tall.
and a dwarf.
Oh, yeah.
Who the fuck are you?
And
Hey,
wait,
Brave, I
just to be
brought some
clear,
people I found.
this guy
Ooh.
hasn't shit himself, right?
I brought some
Friend?
people I found.
Apparently, they're gonna help.
Oh, fantastic! I've only been here. How long have we been here?
You aren't sure. You can make an intelligence check, either of you, to try and do the maths, but you really don't know.
How many scratches have I done on this wall?
Too many.
It's not a saving throw.
No,
One.
just a check.
How do I do an int
I think you
check?
just click
click
the
the
int
int.
stat. Oh, 21. You are confident that you've been here for 390 days.
Look, give me a minute. I need to count it.
1, 2.
All right, while he's counting, what is
I'm
this?
gonna poop
Lockpick
once
sort
every
of
3
scenario?
days. Scaling with.
Taking the 3,
Counting
and
the
assuming
Alright.
the fact that my bones are now just nothing.
Don't while he's distracted, don't you worry about this, boys. I'll bust open this door. Let me get my thieves tools out.
Oh, yes, please. Do a Thieves' Tools check.
By the way, you said rusted. I assumed this was a strength check, and I was making a blow. But I do have thieves' tools.
Despite the
Well,
fact
I've tried it. I've
that
tried
the
it.
map doesn't show a actual door, in my version of the world, there is a door there, so just use Theater of the Mind.
Yeah.
Do my thieves' tools work correctly? Well, presumably it's a dex.
Yeah, Thieves'
check.
Tools are really... It's Dex plus Proficiency if you're a rogue, which...
Yeah, I have
believe
it in
you are.
expertise as well. In it.
Oh, okay, so that's double
How did you take
proficiency.
Thieves' Tools expertise instead of a skill?
I did. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to work. Is that
Oh,
is that
there you
plus
go.
6 the correct
That
number?
looks like
Okay.
it's 3 numbers.
Yeah, 4 plus 0 plus 6.
I rolled a 4. Well, no, I rolled a 7. Okay.
Alright, so D20 plus 4 plus 6, 7 plus 4. Okay, cool. With a 17, you managed to jimmy it open.
Yeah, that
It's a
makes
little...
sense.
You managed to account for the difference in the warping of the metal lock, because there's so much heat in here, it's obviously expanding. But you managed to account for that, not artfully, but good enough, and it goes... And the hinge squeals in pain as it opens, and you see the more clear, disheveled form of the human on the ground.
Ah,
And there was much rejoicing.
Professor Fleeb was once wearing red robes. They are now like closer to a mottled brown. There are the
dude.
stained remains of what were once shoes, but are now closer to sandals, where he's ate the bits of leather that he thought he maybe could have eaten at some point. He has otherwise not many items on him because the bastards have nicked his spellbook.
Those
Peter,
bastards.
friend.
I'm
Have
just
fun
like-
with that. Catch you guys later. I start walking
dude,
off.
before you walk away, it's like, this dude told us. Yeah, this dude told us about you. We saved some pizza for you. Scramble, give him the pizza.
Pizza.
It's
I don't remember
immediately.
that.
I assume Scramble's either stashed or eaten the pizza already.
Possibly.
Hang on.
Okay, what is this check
I
to determine?
like pull some pizza out from a pocket and go to eat it without really making a good attempt at hiding.
Are you
Um,
saying there's no pizza? Or
I'm saying there's no pizza, but very visibly there is pizza.
Dude,
Well,
give
no.
him that.
Anyone with a passive perception of 13 or higher will see you eating the pizza. Anyone with a passive perception lower than that will not.
Oh, good point.
Can I smell the pizza?
Well,
What's
if
your
your
passive
if your passive perception is 13, then you do smell pizza.
Oh no, man! I don't even smell it.
Yeah.
My passive perception is 14 and perhaps heightened by sheer madness.
Oh, so wait, this one guy specifically. Okay, yeah. So what happens is I say, dude, give him that pizza, and you're like about to shove the piece of pizza in your mouth to pretend you don't have it. And the
That's
only
exactly what I
person
do.
here who sees that you have the pizza is the guy who's starving and just been offered pizza.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much how it goes.
Yeah, that's just rude.
All right, Paul, are you gonna try and ask him for the pizza, or are you just gonna let him eat it?
Is that mine?
What are you talking about?
I'm like, what? I thought he got rid of. He just said he didn't have any pizza.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
I look at you, dude. What's he talking? What's this guy talking about?
I have no idea.
You see,
Come on, you gave me some pizza. Give the guy some more pizza.
Shocking.
I thought you had the pizza, Jax.
I go into my bag and I'm like, well, we got this frozen pizza. All right, we cook up another pizza.
okay. You defrost over, presumably, the magma, some more pizza.
I'm content with this outcome.
Okay. About 10 minutes later, you have like lukewarm pizza, or after 20 minutes, piping hot pizza.
It is immediately consumed. I probably would have had it frozen.
Nice. Okay. You feel some of your strength.
To be honest, yeah, a frozen pizza in this environment, having been kept in like a magma prison, would probably be ideal.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, after you consume this slice of pizza, you miraculously lose your point of exhaustion that your character had accumulated, because this pizza truly is the pizza of friendship.
Yeah.
So cool.
And I
you're-
start singing.
I feel rejuvenated, if not properly clothed.
So what's your
Excellent.
story, dude? I know all about this guy. I point at Caesar.
Well, like I came here to research some stuff, but quite frankly, it was so long ago I've forgotten why I was sent here. And then they asked me to do some magic, and I've been doing that ever since. They keep on producing stuff in front of me, and like the usual stuff. Can you make some flowers? Which has always been a bit of a strange one for me. I don't know why.
Wait,
they've asked me
dude,
to do
you're
that.
like a school guy.
Yes.
Oh, dude.
I am a professor,
Oh,
after
that's
all.
so smart, dude.
or at least I think I am.
Oh, you're some kind of brainiac or something. Oh, cool. Oh, can you make a? And I just start asking if you can make various like magic items or special.
Can you
Is
make a duck?
Professor
Can you make a
like
ladder?
a-
Can you make a bench?
Is Professor like a name, or
no,
is it
yes,
I'm like
no,
side
yes.
mouthing to Jex. Is Professor like a name, or is that like a food? What is that?
Dude, professors are like, you know how school when you're like a kid you go to school.
No,
And they teach us.
you mean the streets?
Nah, so you go to school and they teach you how to read and write, And then if you get really
Yep,
good at
no.
reading and writing, then you
Yep,
go to
still not
like
with you.
extra school and you become a professor.
Still not with you. Didn't follow any of that.
All right. Okay, so let's say you're a nerd
Right, okay, yep, you're a fucking nerd.
and you're really good at it.
What a fucking nerd.
Then people give you a load of money and it becomes cool.
Oh. There's money in being a nerd? That doesn't sound right.
Like, if you're good enough at being a nerd, you can get it as a job, dude.
I can confirm there isn't any money in being a nerd.
You see a Carl sort of shifting nervously from foot to foot, and he seems to be thinking. He looks around and he says, "I don't know. I feel like isn't this near that place with all those like fiery horse creatures? I feel like we shouldn't rouse their attention. Are they around here somewhere?"
They were all tied up, right?
Oh yes,
Fiery
they
horse
were.
creatures.
He just kind of looks nervous after his brush with death. Sorry, what was that question?
I'm asking him, fiery horse creatures?
Yes, yeah. You remember they looked kind of like horses, but they stood on two legs, and they looked a little bit like a smaller version of that dinosaur that tried to kill us.
Wait, is Akal saying that to Caesar?
Yes, but he's kind of saying the rest of it to the group because obviously they were the only ones there for the
okay.
dinosaur.
Oh, so
I don't
dude.
think
Well, you know
I
that
was
route
there
where
for
you
the dinosaur. Was Jax there for
you
the
were.
dinosaur?
I wasn't there for the original dinosaur, but you were there for when it came at us again.
Oh, we just
You
took
flew away
off.
from
Right, yeah.
Well, so the thing with the fiery things is you knew there was stuff that way, right? And that's why you came the bucket route, Dan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There's those things. We met them last time. Yeah, dude, we met those last time, and like, you know the guy who ran away? Well, he ran right into them and tried to do some stuff to them, and then we ended up just pretending that there was a smoke cloud, and they chilled out.
They didn't have object permanence, but it was very fortunate.
Yeah, I just put a smoke cloud up,
And then
and they forgot the
they
guy was
forgot
there
about
and calmed out.
We've
Yeah.
rolled for object permanence.
yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we
they
did do
rolled
that
an
roll.
check.
And then you see Akal says, yes, they are tied up, but even so, I mean, we just killed a whole bunch of them. We shouldn't let them discover those bodies, otherwise we might have a whole bunch of them on our heads.
All right.
Carnivores, right?
Well, what do we do next then, dude?
Well, I think we were in the central forge chamber, and if it's built like normal dwarven specifications, and he does a couple of like
I'm
arithmetic
like, oh,
things.
what's he cooking up in his noggin? What's cooking? I want to get a piece of this meal.
Sort of stuff you can get paid for if you're a good enough nerd.
So he says,
Maybe.
after he finishes his dwarven calculations, there should be a door in the northern corner, sort of the farthest corner from that forge room, and that should lead us deeper into the facility.
And I turn to the newcomers, and I'm just like, all right, guys. We may not know you very long, but what I do know is that these guys here suck. So if you want to come with us, we can show them a real cool time.
Revenge party?
But I ain't going outside by myself. Fuck that noise.
Well, these guys have kept us captive for God knows long, so let's go get some
Revenge party.
Okay, cool. So you see Akal leads you back, and instead of going across the sort of deadly hand-over-hand bridge, he starts to look around for alternatives. And then
Yeah, I love that we cross that bridge, and then when we come into this hallway, we just look at the way we came in, and we're like, oh.
We could have just gone round.
And then he goes across like the normal way that you guys came across, and then he leads you further into this room over to the back corner.
I love that he almost died in lava to not walk around.
And then he sees this door and he says, okay, all right, is anyone, we need to know if there's anyone in there on the other side. We don't want to be surprised. Can anyone hear well or see well? I'd take smell at this point.
I mean, I got big ears. I'm not afraid to use them.
Okay, so
That's
what
all
do
I
you-
got though.
I don't know, listen at the door. Is there a keyhole? And he looks and he sees that there is a keyhole. And then,
Listen at a keyhole, or peer through a keyhole, whichever seems more
okay,
appropriate.
give us a perception check.
I'm okay at perception.
Ooh, with a 16, you see and hear that this room does not appear to be occupied, and it seems to contain weapon racks, just like copies and copies and copies of like weapons that look to be of very heavy make. What do you do now?
I just opened the door
Okay.
without saying anything.
Okay, you open the door successfully and you go inside.
Yeah, I just stroll in confidently.
Nice. What you see here is a stockpile of weapons and armor. It looks like the fire newts haven't bothered with this, possibly because they're too heavy or something for them to wield. And it contains what you see as 6 battle axes, great axes, mauls, morning stars, war picks, warhammers, heavy crossbows, and 200 crossbow bolts, in addition to 4 suits of dwarven half-plate armor.
Fuck yeah.
A
Half plate.
bunch of junk.
I just run in on like, dudes, this. I go look at the armor.
Okay. You look at the
I mean, is it
armor.
any good? Will it sell well?
It's dwarven, so it's of a good quality, but you get that it would kind of fit you height-wise, but you wouldn't fill it out quite as well. It would kind of be like a good enough fit, you would think.
I'm assuming that this is junk.
Hey, Akal,
Hello, yes.
you know this. You know about this stuff, right?
Yeah, of course.
I was trying to get a suit like this. Do you think you know how to how to make this fit me?
Yes, I think, and he sort of starts like holding the armor pieces in his hands. If I had access to a anvil, I could definitely mold these so it would fit you better. Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
And
jeez,
if I
where are
had
we going to
some-
get an anvil?
And if I had some time to do it, but I don't know if right now is that time.
Okay, fair enough.
But I don't think these are going anywhere. We could come back for them, hopefully, once we've slaughtered the filthy fire newts. And then he starts to
then
get
sell 'em.
angry all of a sudden.
Has anyone seen a book in there?
A book?
You can
Yes.
roll
I
an
don't know, it's some nerd shit.
investigation check, Professor Fleeb. Oh, wow. Straight out of the gate. You are
Always good.
confident that this room does not contain a book or any book that of any kind, not even yours. It's just
Shit.
weapons and armor. But I'll say that
I pick up a dwarven short sword, which is effectively a dagger.
okay. You actually no, you don't, because
Oh.
there are no short swords. These are all battle axes, great axes, mauls, morning stars, war picks, warhammers, heavy crossbows.
Well, I suppose I have to make a decision whether I want to pick up something I'm definitely not proficient in, just so I have a weapon.
I mean, you guys may as well get your weapons then, because, like, that ladder's going to be useless later on.
You notice the bottom of your ladder has started to drip, and it's kind of like 6 inches shorter, effectively, than it was before. And when you put it down, it starts to like rock unevenly from being exposed to the lava.
My precious.
The precious.
What is happening to my ladder?
And Akal goes over to you and he says, trying to keep the group together. You get the sense that this is his ticket to getting his ancestral forge back, and he seems to be saying, "Oh, I'm sure I could repair it after I do the armor for Jax. I'm sure I could give you perhaps even stronger base plate for that. Yeah, we can. Don't worry." And he makes a soothing gesture.
I wipe the tears away from my eyes and go, a better base plate?
Yeah. We'll find an even stronger material and form the legs and replace them and make them good as new.
Just a query, Dan.
Yeah.
Bollocks.
Dwarven sumo, basically WWE plus kabuki theater.
It could be. It could
Sounds
be.
like it.
Yeah, this is a bunch of theatrics.
Yeah.
So-
But hey,
Definitely.
it's serious business and it's totally real.
Yeah, no,
So-
it's a very big cultural importance, but it is more like wrestling than sumo in the way it plays out.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
That's
that's
why I
definitely
have the
would have got me.
ladder. That's why I have the ladder.
So, Paul, are you like feeling up weapons and seeing how the weight feels?
Yeah, a bit. Yes, I'm just trying to find the lightest thing I can find.
Okay.
I look at Fleeb. I'm like, dude, he's struggling. Like, I pick one up for the weight of it. I'm like, definitely not comfortable with the weight, and I see him doing exactly the same thing with his like skinny old prisoner man arms. It's like, dude, what do you need something to fight with?
Well, a wizard never needs something to fight with, but I prefer something to fight with.
And I go into I basically just pull a knife from my boot.
Ooh.
Are you proficient in short swords, Paul?
I'm proficient in, well, I don't know what I'm proficient in. I think I'm proficient in daggers.
Yeah, I've got a couple daggers.
Okay, I have a couple of short
Daggers.
swords.
Daggers and light crossbows is what I've given myself, so.
I might have a dagger as well. I have a small knife, not a dagger specifically.
I do have some daggers. You can have daggers.
But crossbows, didn't this room have heavy crossbows in it?
Explicitly light crossbows.
No,
there's
6 heavy crossbows and 200...
No, as in I am.
Oh, you can only do light crossbows.
I
sorry,
am
got it.
proficient in light crossbows.
My apologies.
So I could pick up a heavy crossbow and just fire it badly.
Yeah. No, I mean I can give you a couple daggers for now.
Well, I'll take a dagger. Thank you.
Cool. You also noticed
Hey
that
Carl, how many of these would you have to melt down to make a decent rapier?
how many of what?
Like, whatever.
I just like whisper. I whisper to Scramble, and just like, dude, don't talk about light weapons to a dwarf. It's a real faux pas.
I mean,
You hear a Carl reply to you as, a rapier? It's barely 830 cubits worth of metal. That would take almost half of anything in here.
So you could make 2 of them.
Yes, I mean, rapiers don't require much in the way of material. They do require finesse to hone, but yes, these are all things that can be conducted, but these are time-consuming tasks. I don't think you really need that to be done at this very second, do you?
I as I exit, I pat him on the shoulder as I exit, just like, all right, we'll get to that later.
So wait, can we check out this? Is there another door here?
There is. What do you intend to check out about it?
Oh, we're expecting a deeper way in, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, just looking. I guess I'll listen to it.
Okay, make a perception check.
This one.
Okay, with a 10, you manage to hear that as you get closer in this direction, there seems to be an intense hammering sound that you heard before, but it's even louder where you are now. It's like a rhythmic thud, thud, like even more intense than the sounds of Caesar's footsteps. And that's basically all you can hear at the door. It's sort of drowning out all the other sounds.
All right, I'll whisper to Akal. I think I found your anvil, and then
Excellent.
I'll gather Caesar and Professor Fleeb together.
Okay.
And just give them a quick rundown on some of the ridiculous hand signals that we agreed on last time.
Okay. 1 second. I've got a light in my face I need to turn off.
So I'm just like, okay, dudes, when I do this, and I start like spinning my finger in a circle over my head, like that means keep it going. And when I do this,
I position myself behind Jax.
Everything that you do. About
halfway through, I position myself behind Jax and I just like shake my head like I have no fucking idea. I don't use any of these.
and then I put my finger to my lips, and I will cast Minor Illusion on this door.
Okay.
And I'm just going to try and make it look like this door.
Okay, you're going to cast a minor illusion of the door on the door.
And then I'm going to hope that this door opens inwards.
Okay. Okay, the first question I have is, could you put the text
Lovely.
of minor illusion in the chat so that...
Sure.
I think minor illusion needs to be an unoccupied space, doesn't it? Although I suppose you could do it immediately behind the door.
Yeah, I mean, like, if I start to open the door, a creak, and then put it in the place.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I like that. All right, so you open the door, right? And we will reveal what you see inside. Inside,
Yeah.
you see...
I think it can be occupied, but if it is, whoever's occupying it will immediately see through it.
Yeah,
Like,
but I think there's
yeah.
ways around it. Like you said, if you do it just on your side of the door or just in the gap as you open it, I think it's kind of cool enough.
It's an infinitely thin plane.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I've just told everyone to shh
And
as we stand behind this door.
You immediately see the back of a fire newt that's similar to the one that you just faced. So I'm gonna need you to make a stealth check. Just your innate stealthness to see how stealthily you open this door.
Okay. Oh,
Oh!
yes.
Oh,
You
nice.
manage to open this door in an incredibly stealthy manner, and you get your minor illusion in place. So far, nothing seems to have changed. You can see this fire newt, although you're on your side of the illusion, so you just see an illusion. So I'll say.
But no, it's transparent if you know it's an illusion.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, if it discerns the illusion for what it is, the illusion becomes faint to the creature.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so you can see faintly through this door, and what you see is description time. This is where the sort of molten iron and that silvery substance in the other room that you just came from seems to be lifted up by a similar sort of crane to the one that you saw outside, and it seems to be turned into ingots in here. There's two, what are they called? Anvils, and there's two fire newts working at the anvils. You're seeing the back of one of them at the moment, and there's you can see the corner of two other fire newts as you sort of look around, and so that you see 4 in total. There's also 2 quenching baths of water, and there seems to be a bunch of ingots of poor design sort of stored in this corner and this corner, and that's what you see. Oh, you also see another door at the other end of this passage over here.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna be less like, all right, dudes, I got this. And I'm gonna do exactly the same thing as last time.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Enemies Abound on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I reach into his mind and start whispering like, these guys are gonna kill you. They're gonna turn you into a suit of armor. They're gonna...
just for the sake of organization, I'm gonna get everyone an initiative. Like, they haven't discovered you yet, but it'll just help us give them turns and stuff.
Should we roll as well now then?
Yeah, just to get a sense of organization.
So everyone with a sheet, if you click your token before you click the initiative button on your sheet, it'll add you to the tracker.
He needs to make a saving throw. Intelligence saving throw, right?
Yes. Yep. And that's a DC of 14.
Cool. So this creature doesn't have a proficiency in this saving throw, so it's just going to come up like a normal intelligence check.
Cool.
Okay, so intelligence.
Isn't
Oh wow!
Not,
He gets a 1. So that is definitely happening. So that, I think, if I remember correctly, we roll like a D4 or something. No, D3.
Whenever he acts, if between every creature in range, he randomly chooses out of who he can see who he's trying to fight. Basically,
he becomes aggressive towards that creature.
Yeah.
And
so he thinks everyone's his enemy.
And at the start of every turn, it like changes.
It can. I think like if he's next to someone engaged in combat, he'll keep fighting them unless there's more people he could fight without moving. But if he has to move to someone, he'll pick someone within range at random.
Okay, cool. We can check in on that on his next round. But at the moment, I think we're going to see who he attacks, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ignore the number 1 as him. So 1, 2, I'll say 3, 4. I'll say that he attacks this one in the bottom corner. So he's going to just stop his work entirely.
But he just looks up, looks really suspiciously at the people next to him, and then just quietly walks past them with his hammer in hand.
There's a little thought bubble above his head of this fire newt in the corner having sex with his fire newt wife, and he just goes over and starts wailing on him. But
what the fire newts will have marriage.
What he takes out, he puts his what's it called, anvil hammer down, and takes out his scimitar and just slashes into this guy. But he rolls a 19 and only 2 slashing damage. So this guy just takes a scimitar to the face, but it's only a shallow cut, and he starts to scream and hiss back at him, and he is going to react on his turn. And I'll say Jex's turn.
All right. I am going to. I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery on the one he just attacked. So
cool.
the guy that the fire note he's currently fighting. So that one starts hearing me. It starts hearing my actual voice. But might be confused. It doesn't have to understand my language, but it understands that I'm saying, "This guy knows that you're banging his wife."
Nice.
No, sorry, this guy's banging your wife, and he wants to kill you for it.
Okay. And is
He's
it your
banging
actual
wife and he
voice
wants you dead.
spoken aloud, or is it like a magical voice in his head?
I think I speak it aloud.
Because I'm going to say
Yeah.
it'll be pretty loud. You've got a chance of these other people like hearing you or going to investigate the door, is what I'm saying.
Sure,
Okay, cool. So,
I'll take the risk. You know,
okay,
these guys can fight when that happens.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to do a little...
I'm expecting there to be maybe like a dwarven wrestler in the midst of them by the time that's happening.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to do I don't know, this to remind me for them to make like a check. I'll say this person...
So he has to make a save. Yeah, it's a wisdom save.
Wisdom. Is it wisdom?
Yeah. This
Okay,
one
cool.
is wisdom.
Let's do that. He makes a save, and he makes a 17.
Okay. Yep. He saves. Nothing
14.
happens.
Okay, cool. So we'll see what happens on his turn. Next up is Caesar.
And then bonus action.
Oh, yeah, go on.
I'll be like, "Get him, dude! Wrestle him like Gold Tooth." Dan, that is a die of bardic inspiration that you have a hold of, and let me just post what that does.
Thank you.
That's what you can use it for.
Wow, you can
So
add
you
it to
can.
all
It'll
kinds of
last.
shit.
Yeah. It'll last for like 10 minutes until you spend it.
Cool.
That's a D8, nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that is Caesar. I keep wanting to say Caesar Milan. Caesar's turn.
So I can only see this one, right?
Well,
From-
if you're standing back there, then yeah, you can only see the middle one,
Yeah.
but you could walk past Jax quite easily.
Yeah. I'm probably just gonna go in and fight these guys. And it's been several months since I've had any form of wrestling time, so I'm gonna before I go into the room and whilst they're all like fighting amongst themselves, pump myself up a bit, and then walk into the doorway,
Yeah.
slam my feet in the stereotypical sumo way, and then charge towards this one and try and grapple it.
You walk through the illusory door, which some
Yep.
of them in the room look at in a kind of very suspicious manner, and you're going to go up to this one in the center.
Yep.
Okay, and then you're going to attack him with what attack?
I'm not going to try and attack him. I'm going to try and grapple him.
Oh, okay. In that case, it's a contested athletics check. So do an athletics check.
This one, athletics check, roll.
Okay, he's going to roll it. Oh, he gets a 19. You see, as you reach over to grab this fire newt suddenly twists its lithe form and suddenly appears jacked beyond all measure. And it sort of starts to thrust you away from itself towards this precarious ledge and the molten fire beneath. Is there anything else you would like to do?
Does the molten fire underneath look like some sort of sumo wrestling ring? Because suddenly this whole fight has got way more interesting for Caesar.
Well, no, the fire pit below you is more rectangular, but your imagination could draw an imaginary circle around this central
It
area.
definitely has.
Okay,
And
good.
my feet are planting themselves onto the
Okay.
ground.
Cool. Is there any... I don't know how monks work, but you can do a
Um,
bonus action or something if you want.
I can do bonus actions, so I'm going to spend a key point to work. I can do an unarmed strike as a bonus action, so I'll do that.
Cool.
No,
Strike it up.
That doesn't cost you a key point, right?
that one doesn't cost me a key point.
Okay, so you've changed your mind about spending the key point?
No, as a bonus action, I can spend it to do. I can spend a key. No, oh my god. I can do as a bonus action an unarmed strike, but then I can spend a key point to do extra one.
Oh, got it. Okay, so your first regular bonus action unarmed strike connects wonderfully for 3 damage. Yeah, you see, you basically punch him. Or I'll say you can sumo describe how you hit him.
I just push him with my open fist.
Okay, you push him and you see these sort of like dent marks appear in its torso as it takes the blow. Is there anything else you would like to do?
No, that's it.
Cool. Next up is Professor, who seems to be fleeing. Professor? Oh, he's unfleeing.
Poil has muted himself. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but
Classic-
I call it out in
classic
case it
Poil.
isn't.
Oh, I ate a biscuit. That's the reason why I muted myself.
That's
I love
fair. I noticed the symbol, and I'm going to call it out because people always forget they muted
Sam,
themselves.
did you just say classic Poil? Because great line.
Yeah, that's great line.
I did, but only because I haven't known him long enough for anything to be classic.
That is
so-
why it's perfect. Great
it.
call.
It
Excellent
is.
call.
We
Thank
say
You
it all.
you get a point of inspiration.
Oh, wonderful! I shall use that on my all my GM checks. Okay, cool, Professor. What would you like to do?
Professor Fleeb slowly encroaches forward, looks around the corner, goes, shit! Turns back, remembers the kind of one of his 9 spells that he has of age is Mage Armor, and immediately slaps his own face with it to give himself extra AC.
Cool. Okay, so you use your action to have Mage Armor, which 13 plus Dex modifier. What does that make your AC?
So effectively just increase my AC by 3, isn't it, as a standard?
Cool.
So if my current AC, my current ARF is 12, so my AC is now 15.
Okay, sweet. All right. Is there anything else you would like to do?
I don't think I can do anything else.
Well, I mean, in terms of you could speak to your comrades, you could interact with an object, you could move the remaining 10 feet of movement you probably have.
I think I'm happy to be just hidden behind the door at the moment.
And mage armor means your ward is active, right?
Yes, my ward is now active, yes, so I can now absorb damage.
Excellent. So you've got a higher AC, but you also have like an amount of hit points that you can absorb.
I have 15 extra HP that I can apply as a reaction to someone else, such as, for example,
cool.
the sumo wrestler that's currently fighting them.
I'll say a sort of shimmering aura of your own description appears around your body. What theme do you think your abjuration wizard would have shimmering around them?
As a sort of like as an armor-based sort of appearance, it's sort of like it's strangely bookish. For some reason, it sort of
was
like has
thinking
it has sort of like the smell of parchment for no real reason.
Pretty
Like
cool.
it's somewhere between parchment and a dead mummy.
I like that's really cool though, because it's like magic scrolls. It's like the text on a scroll just weaving
Yeah.
around your skin, like a.
Yeah, exactly. And you,
Pretty
Jax, are the only one that is close enough to hear, and maybe Scramble catches a little bit. As this spell comes to life, you hear the sound of parchment pages riffling.
Sweet.
Did you hear that? Did the Foley work?
Oh, a
did
little
you?
bit.
Let me
barely
try
heard it.
again. Hold on. Let's up the gain here. Ready?
Yeah.
Very slightly.
Tiny little bit, yeah.
I think Discord is trying to cut it out as background noise.
Yeah.
Subduce
probably.
it.
Cool. I'll work on my Foley in the future. Okay, that is the end of Professor Fleeb's turn. Now we're going to do some checks to see how clever these Fire Newt warriors are. Am I too loud at the moment, or is it okay?
No, you're fine.
All good.
Okay, cool.
Okay, we can also adjust you if we need to.
Okay, sweet. What was I saying?
Never forget the fleeb.
Okay, the Fleeb. All right, so the Fire Newt warrior is going to try and make a check on this illusion, but it's also kind of a perception check. But what's the check for the illusion, the minor illusion, to see through it?
So blah 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 blah. If they're not trying to
Investigation.
interact, investigation.
Okay, so I'll just do those for them because I think your voice
But
combined
that would
with...
be an action if they're investigating it. I mean, if they just want to come and poke it, they can poke it. But I think it's an action to actually try and see through it.
Okay, I think that's
you haven't
funnier.
interacted with it.
I'm going to say, after hearing your voice and seeing the sumo burst through it, this one is going to like walk across here angrily or shuffle across angrily and try to make a check, possibly with his hand, to try to figure out what's going on. And it was investigation,
Sure.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so with a 6...
Although if he's touching it,
Yeah?
his hand will just go through it now. If he spent an action.
Okay, that should be fun.
Yeah.
So he's going to spend an action investigating, and then part of that, at the end of that check, he's going to reach out his claw and think to himself, after he concludes investigation, oh, this is the door. I know this door. So he leans against it as if he's going to try and take up a defensive posture and falls straight through it onto his face. And so he's sort of like halfway between these two things there. So we'll deal with that in a second.
Professor Fleeb screams. Ah!
I mean, you could see him doing that, Paul, because, I mean, presumably you saw me casting the illusion.
That doesn't mean I don't scream.
Okay, so then we're going to have this guy is going to try and attack the sumo wrestler that's currently like pouncing and trouncing and prodding him. So he's going to take out his scimitar, obeying no laws, and try to strike you. And he's going to try and hit you with a 12. Does a 12 hit?
It's equal to, so does it hit?
Yes, it does.
Damn.
Okay, so
How dishonorable.
that's 3 slashing damage.
Okay.
And he's going to try and attack you again, scimitar. I think I forgot to do the second attack for this guy down the bottom right, but they can actually attack twice. Then he's going to hit you for 6 slashing damage, and he seems to be breaking your illusion of being in a sumo situation.
That is unforgivable. I'm going to be tracking my damage on D&D Beyond, by the way.
Okay, cool. Okay, so then
Not that it necessarily is a bad way to do it, but I find it quite helpful in Roll20 on the actual token. You can set health. You see the 3 little dots that appear above you?
Yeah.
So like if you double click it, you can make one of those bars like X out of X, and then you can just put like -10 in the box. So like my token, it's telling me 53, and if I press -10, then it goes to 43.
Okay.
Sweet. Okay, so after that, this guy in the bottom right is going to try and deal with his assailant, and he's actually going to try and spit fire at him. As 10 feet, the creature must make a dexterity DC 11 saving throw. So that's a dexterity saving throw, and he fails. So this guy who's been mentally affected is going to take... Okay, so that's 7. Okay, so he takes 7 fire damage. But this guy is immune to fire, and in his haste, the fire newt did not realize that. So this guy just stands there unaffected.
It's just like an angry, like, defensive vomit.
Yeah, exactly.
They can spit at each other as a like displeasure thing, knowing it won't hurt each other. That's kind of cool.
And then this one, and now because he's still engaged in combat, he doesn't re-roll to determine a random opponent. Is that true?
Because I think if the action he's doing is melee range, then he'll pick out of the people he's in melee with.
Okay, cool.
But let's say if he decided he was spitting fire because that was the right thing to do based on where he was in combat, he would pick out of all the people
within range.
Who were in range of that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. He's going to attack this guy that he's decided is his fictional enemy, and he's going to hit for 4 slashing damage. Slashing into him through his like charred grip.
Yeah.
And he's
hit him again, dude.
Oh, natural 20.
Oh,
so,
my boy, my fire boy.
I mean, I suppose I can just accept their version of it. All right, I'll just take their version of it because it's an enemy and I don't care. But if it's for us, I feel like we should roll critical hits properly.
Sure.
6,
How do you roll them properly? Also,
7. Well, I still can't figure out what they're doing. Like the maths doesn't make sense.
I think it just added another D6 there.
Yeah, it just added
That's
another
so
D6.
boring.
What
Easy to code in.
Well, you could just roll like twice as... I suppose it's easy to code in. I suppose what they're doing is just rolling like again, I suppose.
Yeah, instead of rolling 1d6, they're rolling
that,
2d6 plus whatever modifiers. Yeah, that's what they're doing, which is the normal, isn't it?
But they don't. I suppose they don't have a modifier. But they're meant to have a +1.
It does have a +1. So if you mouse over the 2, it's 1d6 plus 1, and then if you mouse over the 5, it's 1d6 plus 0.
Oh, okay. It is calculating it right. I've had other times where it's come up and it's the calculation doesn't. It is not as transparent.
Sometimes I think it doesn't know all of the different things you're trying to double.
Oh, okay. Cool. So this one is therefore going to inflict 7 damage, I think, on this guy. Is that what it was? Yeah.
Oh boy.
Nice.
And the guy spit fire at him, so he doesn't even make a save to get...
Exactly. He reacted hastily and with rage. That's why you should always think ahead, kids. All right, next up is Scramble.
Oh, what's going on, guys?
Is that a real yawn or a character yawn?
No, that was not a real yawn.
Okay, good. Go on.
No, I rolled on that one, so just playing that up. This guy that fell back through the door, is he now prone?
Yes, 100% prone.
Does that mean I get advantage on my attack?
If it's a melee attack, yes. If it's a ranged attack, you get disadvantage.
I wander up to him, And I'd be like, alright, let's get involved. I pull out my rapier and just stab downwards at him.
I'll say, because he's sort of halfway between two squares, you'd still probably need to be on this side of Jex to get a good strike.
I will stand wherever I need to stand to do
Okay,
this.
attack away and roll with
will.
advantage.
Advantage.
I love like pose of a half elf just trying to stab at someone's ankles. Like I do a low stab.
Does 16 hit?
Ooh, just hits. Okay,
Just
so
hits,
roll
that's
your
what I
damage.
I
piercing
get
damage.
backstab on that as well. A sneak attack on that. Sorry.
Sneak
That.
Bitch.
Boom.
Wow, so we add those together, right?
Yes, so 17 damage in total.
You basically stab into the back of this guy's neck, and you see his sort of flamey, smoking blood, in inverted commas, starts to spill out onto the ground, and he looks like he's on death's door.
And can I use my cunning action to hide?
Blah, 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 blah. Sneak attack is not a cunning action, so yes, you can. But you would need to... I suppose you're only hiding from you're only hiding from a guy on the ground, so you could probably just go behind that weapon rack in the middle.
Yeah?
Go.
We could,
Sure.
yeah.
Okay, so give us a stealth check.
Okay, cool. Oh, whoops, I clicked advantage, so it should just take the original one, the 17.
Okay, 17. You feel like your little eyes are poking above the top of the weapon rack, but you feel pretty Three Stooges style hidden.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah,
Next
good
up
about this.
is Jex.
All right. I'm gonna stab at this guy on the floor first of all.
Nice.
Just with a sword.
Fucked him right up.
Nice.
Oh yeah, 19. Rapier
Oh,
definitely
I forgot
hits.
to get advantage, but I
Yeah,
don't
you
think
might as
it's
well
gonna
roll
matter.
again, see if you get a
Okay,
natural
sure.
20.
I crit.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
Got better.
You hit still.
9
yes.
damage to this guy.
The guy on the ground just completely loses like corporeal form and just like flaming blood spurts all over the door frame.
Nice. And then I'm gonna block that with my shield, and
Okay.
I combat roll over him
Okay.
with the shield,
Okay.
and then jump up onto this anvil.
Uh-huh. It's incredibly hot.
Oh, I'm not gonna jump up on. I will. I put the shield under my feet. I've got an animated shield, so I'll.
Nice. Okay, you're currently
I'll stand
standing
on the
an
shield.
animated shield on an
Yeah.
anvil.
Yeah. And I'll stab at this guy.
Nice. Go for it. Do you have a second attack?
Yes, I do.
Nice.
Oh, that's
wow.
a crit.
It's nice. Okay, do the damage, and we'll see if
Alright.
if
Is it
you're
gonna
happy with the
add-
way it calculates
It does use it all.
That's
Yeah, it does
perfect.
the extra. Nice.
Nice.
13 damage.
Okay, so you see this thing takes 13 piercing damage, and it starts to like divide its attention between the two of you as it's like bleeding licks of flame profusely.
And I will also. Oh, is this gonna work?
That's
Probably
the question,
won't.
isn't it?
I will try if this guy will allow me to inspire him, even though I'm his enemy. I would like to give bardic inspiration to the guy whose mind I've infected.
Is that how inspiration? Like, is there any
It does.
limit?
It says an ally. It does say an ally. I know I'm not an ally, but like,
Oh yeah, you are
you'll-
considered an enemy to that dude.
if he will take the benefit, then I'll give it to him, and if he won't, then I won't.
Yeah, I think I'm willing to make that happen because it's hilarious. So yeah, go for it.
I'm just like, fire newt, rock on, kill the other fire newts, be the last one.
It rhymed. I like that. Okay, he now has a D8 of inspiration, which I will represent by this little
Yeah,
sort
you
of
can use that
heart.
to attack, to defend, or to do more damage.
Sweet. Okay, is that the end of Jex's turn, standing on a shield on an anvil? Is that the end of your turn?
I will hop down over here and hold the shield.
Okay, cool. Your feet are lightly warm, as if you just dipped them in a warm stream. Okay, next up is Caesar.
Okay, so can you guys hear me? Because I think my internet's a little bit.
Yeah, I
fake
hear you.
at the moment.
Crystal clear.
They're fine.
Okay, great. So what Caesar's going to do is he's going to blow on his hands and then do a flurry of blows. So I take an attack action and I can spend 1 key point to do 2 more unarmed attacks as a bonus action.
So like 3 in total.
3 in total.
Nice.
There's some special stuff with the monastery that I took here. So I took the open hand technique monastery. So if I hit any of my Fury of Blows I can
Do your
impose
normal
one of the
attack
following
first,
effects. Yeah, so there's one attack first, yeah.
Yeah. So if
So
you
let
kill
me-
him, you might not even do the flurry of blows, but you might.
Oh man. Yeah, so let's do my normal attack first then.
But you can
That's not
move, I think, and do the rest of your flurry of blows
Yeah,
on someone
yeah.
else.
Yeah, true. So does that roll?
Okay, so your first roll is an 8, which unfortunately does not connect. So you can use your...
Does he get advantage because of?
Oh, because you're flanked. Then yes, you would. So let's take the 18. That does hit.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
you do
That
three...
that hop off the anvil.
That was
Genius.
That was a great hop. Okay, you see this fire newt takes your strike right in its face, and you see flame like spurt out against the ceiling, but it just leaves char marks instead of blood spurts. It's very confusing, and he looks like he's on death's door, but not quite there yet.
So then I will still spend a key point to do a flurry of blows again.
Nice. Let's make it
So
happen.
another unarmed strike.
What did you say happens if you hit?
Yep, that hits 8
It might be
bludgeoning
irrelevant.
damage. Yeah, you basically just cause this guy's form to dissipate into smoke, and that blows straight past Jax, causing him to probably cough with all the smoke. It's like when the campfire blows at you.
My eyes
Finally, a
water.
good roll.
Nice.
So that is.
You still have
all the
another
things I
attack,
can do.
right?
Can I move and then attack? Can you?
I think you can
Yeah,
technically
where you
break up
can
movements
spit
and
out your attack.
actions. Yeah.
Yeah, movement in this system, movement is basically use it whenever you want during your turn.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll go use my last flurry of blows on.
The guy here is the one who's fighting the other fire newts.
And you
And
would have
this is
seen
the
that.
one.
So you would know the
Yeah.
guy in the corner is your real enemy.
Yeah, so I'll do
Well,
a
this
cool,
one killing
stylish
items.
jump over the anvil and end up like here.
Okay, yeah. It's a short anvil, so I'll allow that. Go for your last attack.
What are you saying about my height? Last attack.
Okay, your last attack, you managed to make yourself a bit puffed and tired with your glorious jump over the anvil. So you managed to just not quite connect with quite the same strength, and you miss with this last attack, basically.
All right, okay.
But the jump was glorious.
No, thank you.
Okay, cool.
Been training for years.
Next
what
up
really matters.
is Professor Fleeb.
Professor Fleeb steps through the door and tries to remember the spell which he learnt a long time ago. Waves his hands around and says some absolute gobbledygook, forgets the component he needed, feels into his pocket, says the same thing again, and casts Magic Missile.
Okay, nice. Against the one in the corner?
Against the one that is not possessed, if I can hit that one.
Yeah, I mean, you were sort of out of the room when that was happening, but I'll say that you've sort of gathered it through arcane intuition. Yeah, go for it.
Boop.
Nice. Okay, so just how many darts happens?
I just cast as level 1, so it's only that one.
No,
Oh,
you
really?
get 3 darts at level
Yeah,
1.
at level
Oh,
1
do
it's
I?
3, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so they all got 1 then? No. Oh, 1d4
I don't know
plus
why
1.
It's only
Rolling
rolled
one.
1 die there.
Oh, okay, so I just do it 3 times then, I suppose.
Yeah.
Bizarre. Okay, so that's 8, that's 11 damage. You basically watch as this creature gets pummeled with force bolts, and the sort of flaming blood smoke envelops your ally Fire Newt and the Sumo Caesar simultaneously as it just dissipates and goes like this.
Sorry!
And it's gone.
Does the blood like hurt?
Well, it's kind of like if you stand too close to a campfire. So as long as it's temporary, like for an instant, it's okay. But if it were to be sustained, you'd probably get burned.
Okay.
Cool.
Don't immerse yourself in fire newts.
Next up is the Fire Newt, who's going to use a d4 to determine who within its range, because it can get you, Jex, within 10 feet. So I suppose it has to make a decision between the two that it could hit, right?
It depends on what action, but however you want to do it is fine.
Okay, cool.
I think, yeah. I mean, the way I would probably run it is it's not taking. It wouldn't take an opportunity attack to get to me, so it would probably be fine picking me even with its default action.
Yeah. Yeah. So I still want it to be determined randomly there. So I've just basically got to flip a coin. So I'm going to keep rolling until I get either a 1 or a 2. Nope.
You can write.
You could just half
There
it.
you go. You can write /roll 1d2 or any arbitrary number.
Oh, really?
When you want that.
Oh, that's sweet. Anyway, it ended up with a 1, so he's going to try and flame Jex over there. So give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Okay. Dexterity save. Ooh, I'm good at that one. Apparently not.
Oh, yeah, you managed to succeed on a half as much.
Ooh,
so you're
nice.
going to take half of 2d8. So you're going to take 5 fire damage as you see this like belch of flame gout out across the red hot anvil and hit you in the face.
That's my buddy.
And the irony of this, the slave becoming the master, dawns on you. Oh my goodness, I
It's
forgot to
fine.
roll for a Carl. How foolish of me.
I was gonna say,
but
my
now
turn,
that-
like, hey, Carl, you fancy getting involved?
But now that this guy's the only one left, I'm gonna be like, okay, dudes, open the next door. Caesar, can you ram him through? We'll just close him in there and see if he fights some more of them.
Sure.
Okay, so you're gonna you implore someone to like shove him into the next room. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that is the end of this thing's turn. So that is Grammel's turn, and I'll deal with. Oh, why didn't a Carl's thing roll? I'll deal with a Carl later.
Scramble, get the door! I point to the door.
Wait, is there?
The-
That's a door, right?
Yeah, that door.
You notice 2 doors in this room. There is one below, and there's one to the right.
That's
I'm
fine,
pointing-
but this
yeah.
one, the note's right
The one
next
that,
to.
yeah, the one that we might be able to shove the newt through.
How far away from the door am I? Oh, I'm like just okay. All right, fair enough. That's all right. I can use my cunning action to dash.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm gonna like take a slightly winding route so I end up on the other side of the door, and just like bust the door down, or like
Hold it open so you can.
Yeah,
close
yeah,
it.
I'll hold it open. Yeah, but in a
Yeah.
dramatic fashion.
So you're gonna hold the door open in a dramatic fashion.
Yes.
Okay. That's one of. I'll say that's interact with an object and your movement.
Oh,
Do you
actually, no. Wait, hang on. It's when someone's already an action to open the door when someone tries to push the newt through.
okay,
Sweet.
that's your readied action.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I just checked the turn order and I was like, no, wait a minute, I want a ready an action to do that rather than just do it.
To open and close it when the fire note's going
Okay.
through.
Yeah,
Sweet.
yes,
All right. So
yes.
next up is a Carl. A
Open
Carl
and
says,
close.
"Oh, sorry. I was looking at all this dwarven armor. It's really quite well made, you know." And so he comes in and he says, "Oh,
Yes.
is that spell again?" And he turns to
Help.
Jex.
Hell yeah! Help Caesar. Oh wait, first of all, sorry, I took some damage. I need to make a concentration save. I forgot to do this last time.
Oh yeah, that's my bad.
I took not much damage.
5 damage?
Yeah, so it's a
so
D10.
it's a DC 10, and I get advantage on it because I have Warcaster.
Nice.
There
Yes,
we go. Natural
natural
20.
20.
Piece of piss.
you
You
barely
cast the second
blink.
concentration spell.
Your eyebrows are partially burned off, but you barely blink.
All right, Akal, help him get the newt through.
Okay, so he's gonna try and stand here and give advantage to the sumo shoving through the door in traditional sumo style.
Sweet.
Okay, this is gonna be sweet. Next up is Jex.
I mean,
I'm
you know all
Inspire
about
the
the
push.
you know all about the sumo wrestling from your card collection. So be my guest if you want to try it.
no, I'm not cut out for trying to push someone through a door.
Inspire the push.
I'm cut out for the theatrics of it. I'm gonna hop up onto here.
With your shield below you again.
Yep.
Nice. Okay, is that the end of your turn? Do you want to ready an action?
I'm probably gonna ready an action. I'm just quickly peeking at my spells list. I will ready an action to vicious mockery a new enemy that I see when the door is open.
Okay, sweet. Next up is Professor Fleeb.
Professor Fleeb is wondering what the hell he can do in this scenario.
Ready,
I've realized that a lot of my spells are cast on myself. So Professor Sleeb is just going to step forward for moral encouragement.
You could ready an action to like cast magic missile again or something.
I'm holding a knife.
You're readying a stabbing knife action?
Yes.
Ready intimidation.
Ready.
Just so you know, Paul, if you ready an action that's a spell, you don't have to do it when it goes off.
Cool. Lightning bolt's ready.
You basically, when the trigger comes up, you basically say, yes, I'm doing it, or no, I'm not, and then either way, you don't get to keep waiting on it.
Cool. Professor Phlebe steps forward, but for some reason there's electricity crackling off his fingers. It does look slightly horrifying.
Okay.
There's
sweet.
tiny little thunderbolts which bangs kind of loudly, but they're really, really small. More like popping sounds.
Okay, sweet. Next up is Caesar's turn.
With an audience, he goes to grapple.
Well, I think you're trying to shove him, right?
Yeah, is that a different action?
No, I think it's the same check. I think it's just we might as well call it the official thing. Okay, so give me an athletics check with advantage, please.
Dun, 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 dun.
1, 2.
Okay, so we're gonna get a contested check from
If
this.
you want to, Dan, you
I
can
can
add
use
your
my
D8,
bardic. Yeah.
but then so can he.
I'm gonna do it anyway because if this fails,
Yeah. Shall I
Fine,
roll
fine.
you? I'll roll you an extra D8. Here you go.
Thanks.
Okay,
3.
so that's a 17. Okay, so what happens is Akal gets down, I'll say, behind the fire newt, you know, when he makes like a table, and then in primary
You
school you would like...
tabletop him through the door.
Yeah, you push someone over the back of that person on all fours, but
Classic.
this guy gets to make a check to see how he deals with it, so it's a contested athletics check, but he definitely doesn't have an advantage, so... A 5! He goes flying through this door at great speed. I'll say he goes...
Flip it open.
I'll say 10 feet. So as we open the door, we get a glimpse of what's inside, and this character absolutely 5,
nice.
10. So he ends up basically really close to this powerful mechanical hammer that's slamming up and down in the center of the room. You see a sort of like mystical figure on the immediate right of the door, and you see a bunch of fire newts just sort of crowding around, working on various metal equipment.
What is in the brief moment I see this figure? What is it? Do I see anything about it?
I might as well show it to you. That'll be fun. It looks like this.
Ah. Okay, so I'm gonna use my readied vicious mockery on that thing.
Okay. What does it need to do?
It needs to make a wisdom save.
Okay, let me open up its sheet. And then I will do a wisdom save. Actually, I might as well put it on initiative. I wonder if I can do that. Sweet. And then it is going to do a wisdom save. It gets a 15.
That does save.
Okay.
That's it from me. And
Okay.
then, Paul, did you want to unleash your lightning? There's a line of 4 dudes in a row.
Can
He can barely handle it. Go on.
Can I just fire? Am I allowed to fire? I didn't
yeah,
technically have line of sight.
That's your readied action, so go for it. Actually, yeah, your line of sight, let me reveal that for you. You would be probably seeing this kind of thing.
Oh.
Well, because Paul, I think the way you can usually let me get the ruler out without if it can get it.
I
no
think
snapping.
probably
You can be at the corner of your square, so if that door is taking up that square, you can see that whole line as if you were at that very corner there.
Okay.
And you can basically lean. Around a
okay,
door.
there isn't a clear distinction as to what this is. How is this door? Does this door open? Is it a swing door? What kind of door is this?
I'll say this door opens towards you. So you would have...
So it opens towards us, and which way did it open? Did it open...
it opens
if
basically
towards...
on top of Scramble, but it opens flat because it's a very cleverly designed hinge. So it can basically go flat against the wall on your side of the room.
So it's a sliding door, or it spins, or it's an arc and goes all the way around?
Hinged door, right?
Hinge door, yeah.
Okay.
So
So it goes spins
Scramble
all the way
pulled it
around
open
and goes
like
flat
that.
against the wall. Okay,
Yes,
right.
exactly like that.
Okay.
The slender elven body behind it.
Flat as a pancake,
So here's
despite
the
having
thing.
eaten
So
many of
if it's spun around like that, the first things I would have seen were these guys. With the two next to this anvil here.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the whole information of what you see in the moment it's open, right?
That's
So whatever
true,
you can hit, you can just pick the line as it goes now. Whatever you can hit.
But I think
So
what he's saying is that he would only be able to see, like, if he's on this side of the door, he'd be able to see this side.
What I'm saying is that for like game reasons, I know that right now I get presented with the board state as is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is me effectively asking, how are we playing this game? Are we role playing this, or are we role playing this?
I'll say
Because if I'm role playing this, then Phlebe immediately fires as soon as he sees something, which is the thing that's immediately in front of him.
yeah,
I just mean it's basically like you're leaning in, so like the grid isn't everything. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, basically you could see probably. I mean, you'd be hard pressed seeing the 3 on this side, even in grid terms. If you lean in, you'd probably see mostly these 3 on the right hand side.
I'm gonna ping. How do you ping?
You just hold down
just
the
did.
left click button.
I'm gonna fire at that one. I'm just gonna unleash on that guy.
Okay, cool. Go for it. Does he need to make a save of some sort?
Is this a line? Is this lightning bolt that goes in a line? Is that?
I can't remember. Hang on. If I just, how can I ping this?
Try clicking the spell name. It might just do the damage roll though. I know it does the whole
Okay.
thing.
100 feet long and 5 feet wide. Is that what you were trying to determine? I need to make a dex save for it. I'll say if it's 5 feet wide, you'd probably get all 3 of them. To be honest with you, 5 feet wide is very wide.
I suppose, yeah. If you're not doing it square by square, it would catch all of them.
Yeah. Okay.
In some small capacity.
That's fun. Let's do that.
Cool.
So let's do a dex save for this front one, just because it's fun. And what's your DC?
What is my DC? That is a
Has it
fantastic
at the
question.
top of the spell page?
Sorry. 1 moment,
The
please.
spells page in your roll 20 sheet. It
Yeah,
should
my
be
DC is 14.
Okay, so the first one fails. The one immediately beside it fails. The one at the very back fails. Okay, so roll your 8d6.
So how can I get this thing to roll 8d6? Like,
So you go over to the thing. If you're on the roll 20 page, it's on the toolbar on the left. It's the second one from the bottom. And then you go to d6. And oh yeah, you could probably do 4 twice.
Yeah, you can also type in the box /roll 8d6.
Sounds like a Model M keyboard. Okay, roll 8d6. Sweet. Oh my good gravy. Okay, so that's 32 damage. Okay, what happens is you release this pent up, like, revenge-filled torrent of lightning, and just these 3 just burst into flaming smoke and disappear. They are gone.
Beautiful.
They just
Also,
disappear.
a note, Paul.
Mhm.
Is lightning bolt an abjuration spell?
no, lightning bolt is a vocation.
Okay, it's in wrong. I'll change that.
Awesome. So that was your held action. Is there any other held actions we need to trigger? I think that might be all of them.
Has that all happened on my turn?
Yeah.
That
And then
all happened.
shut the door is
Yeah.
the end of my held action.
Yeah, I'll say that's sweet.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
If you want to do that, go ahead.
I love that because yes, on your turn, Eddie's held action was to open the door and then close it, and Paul and our held action was while the door is open, we want to shoot stuff through it.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Cool. So that means it is now the Fire Newt's turn. Now, it is going to definitely need to do a re-roll to determine which of these tons and tons of creatures it is now aggressive towards. So let's do that and see how that goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. It's going to roll a d4. It rolls a 1. So it's
re-rolling to snap out of it.
Does he? Yeah.
No,
does he
only
do
when
it?
it takes damage.
Oh,
Okay.
only when it takes damage. Yeah, please
That's
remind
not
me
important.
please remind me if I forget to do that save. But it's gonna attack the sort of like more fortified looking figure, and it is gonna make a scimitar attack, and that is a 10, which that does hit, and it is gonna oh goodness, so many pages, and so it's gonna take 6 slashing damage.
Then it hits the beefy boy.
I love that. Like, I love that we did that instead of just killing the last one. We just shoved him into the next room and let him do the work.
Yeah, exactly.
Off
And
you
then-
go! Have
And
fun!
then he hits with the next one as well, but only doing 2 slashing damage this time.
I'm so pleased with this spell. It's such a funny spell.
You hear on the other side of the door, and you're not sure what that means. But you assume that your character is hitting things.
I love that they must be so freaked out because, like, they see us fighting this guy. They see us shove him through and then attack them. And then this guy gets up and starts attacking them as well.
Okay, cool. I'm going to just add another lot of, initiative for this new group of fire nudes. Yeah. And then I think I was up to the 6. So next up is Scramble. What would Scramble like to do?
Just heard a bunch of scuffling and I don't know what's going on. What will I do? I guess I'm probably just going to ready another action. I'm going to take a... Hang on. Well, we saw that they were on this half of the room, but not this half anymore, sort of thing. So on the left half, not the right half, so...
I'll say you could probably...
Yeah, they were on both halves.
Yeah, they're just on one half.
And I'm just like,
the information
you just incinerated all the dudes on that half of the room! Awesome! I shout as you see a lightning bolt go at that angle.
I'm gonna actually stand somewhere back and get my longbow out and ready an action to shoot at something on the other side, shoot at a fire newt when that door is next opened.
Okay, cool. So you've got a ready action to shoot an arrow. Next up is a Carl, and a Carl says, "Whew, he seems to be whispering. That seems to be going well. I don't think they saw us. Do you think they saw us?"
Yeah.
Oh, you think they did?
Okay. I blow on my finger guns.
Oh, actually, I think you tried to viciously mock someone, right? So they probably heard that. Okay, cool. So
that guy definitely heard me.
And the lightning bolt that shot out of someone's fingers and blew 3 people
Oh
out.
yeah, probably the lightning bolt. Okay, so Akarl's going to go over to the door and say, that seemed to work pretty well for us last time. All right, I'm going to open the door when I... And then he sort of gets too frustrated and charges into the door, and he says,
"Dude, just wait.
I'm going to go in. And then he opens the door, and you see this like fire newt that you've enchanted sort of engaged with this like slightly more armored creature, and he is going to attack with... you're going to see something that you didn't realize Akal could do. He grows in size, basically double, and becomes this like meaty as hell dwarf, and he is going to attack the sort of mage-looking figure.
Sweet.
Okay, and he manages to hit. Okay, so that means he's going to do... Yeah, go on.
Quick note from my fiery boy.
Mm-hmm.
Did he want to use his inspiration during his last turn at all for damage?
I think he hit both times anyway. Oh, for damage, yeah. Let's do it for damage. Which thing is it? D8, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say he used it. All right, so he does an extra 3 damage.
My boy.
Nice. Fiery boy is a great name.
That
Okay.
guy needs a name. Add him to the party.
So
if he survives this whole thing, let's try and convince him to join us.
So you see Akal do 12 piercing damage to this guy immediately by the door.
Nice.
As Akal has left the door carelessly open in his rage, and that is going to be the
I
end
use my
of
ready action
Akal's
to
turn.
unleash a shot.
Oh yes,
Oh,
that
yeah.
is exactly correct. Okay, so who are you hitting?
I'll shoot at the armored one, assuming I can see
Oh
it.
yeah.
I'll say he's
Is-
close enough to the door that you can. Yeah, go for it.
Do I get advantage for anything him being surprised? Does that work, or do I just...
I think the surprise has gone with the lightning bolt and the various things that have come through
Okay.
that door.
That's
But
fine.
he
I
is
think I
engaged
still
with
get...
an ally, so you get
Well,
sneak
Yes,
attack.
I
your
think I
whole
still
last
get the
turn.
sneak attack. So
Spend your whole
Sorry.
last turn. So did you hide before you readied an action?
No.
Okay.
Done that? Oh,
Silly
Oh,
boy.
my
Sorry.
bad. That's fine.
You said
Yeah,
sneak
as long as I hit, I think I still get the sneak attack because Carl's next to him, though.
Yes, I
Yep.
believe so.
Yeah. So all I got to do is hit. Where's the longbow? Easy.
Nice. Okay, so that hits. Roll damage.
14 hits. Brilliant. All right.
Yeah, this guy is kind of armored,
That
but in a more
damage,
fancy way
there's that.
rather than a practical way. Okay, so 16. You watch this arrow fly through the air and basically take this guy through the skull, and he just goes into dust. Next up is the Fire Newt warriors are going to look super confused at their sort of supervisor being turned to dust and one of their own starting to attack them. So I'm going to say this Fire Newt warrior is going to go up here and try to attack. Actually, I'll move that out of the way and try to attack this. Sorry?
Oh, yeah. No, that's fine.
He's going to attack Akal, this new sort of dwarf that they had successfully taken the forge from. And they are going to try to attack with this. Okay, so 14. Does that hit? That does not. It clinks off of Akal's armor, and then he's going to try and attack again. Just let me close one of these thousands of things I've got open. Okay, cool. What's the next attack? The next attack is going to be another scimitar attack. That one does hit for 4 slashing damage, and you see Akal sort of stagger a little bit, even though he's bloody huge.
I absorb that.
Oh, okay. You absorb that.
Ooh.
And so, how much damage did I say it was?
You said it was 4.
Cool. Thank you.
So you spend your reaction.
I spend my reaction for this turn has now been used.
Nice.
Sweet.
Excellent.
But
Okay,
you
so
soak it up.
this
Oh,
other
so does that mean he gets all the cool words like whoosh over to him?
Yes, there is someone like off, and there's just paper everywhere.
yeah, I'm gonna do the effect again and see if I can make it louder. Okay, cool. Next up, this one at the back here is kind of a zealot, and he's going to attack this traitorous Fire Newt that was attacking their supervisor. So
Oh, not our boy.
he's going to attack this one for an 18. So that's going to hit 5 slashing damage, and then he'll have to do a save later on, right? Does he do a save every time he gets hit, or just at the end of the attack?
Every time he takes damage.
Okay, so he took damage. Let's do a save for him. What save is it again?
Int.
Int.
I think. Let me check that.
And yours is oh, it rolls a natural 1. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, he loves being on our side.
So he's going to do another scimitar attack. This time 15 doesn't hit. So then this last creature is going to try and flank Akal here and do an attack against him. No, he attacks with advantage. So 19, that hits. Oh, no, that's not the advantage part of it. So he just does 5 damage to Akal. And then you see the enormous Akal just start to flex in cockiness. And that is the end of that turn. So next up is Jex's turn.
All right. All right, I'm gonna just step here. I'm gonna stab at this one.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna be like, this dude totally sucks. Nice.
20, that hits. Roll damage.
6.
Okay, so this guy on the left here takes 6 piercing damage, and you see some more flames sort of like gout out of the wound.
And then I will do it again.
Nice. Yeah, that definitely hits. Roll damage. You get through the little gaps in his little chain shirt.
Another 4.
It's more of a chain vest, really, something that like a waiter might wear. Cool. All right, you see more flames leak out of him, but he doesn't look on death's door yet. Is there anything else you want to do?
Yeah, I'll just be like, don't let him beat you up. You gotta win back your forge for the dwarves. And inspire Akal.
Nice. Cool. All right, he feels super inspired, and I'll do a little thing here to remind me of that. Maybe I'll make it green. That'll remind me. Cool. Next up is Professor Flea.
I step over to... oh, blimey. Gotta remember your name.
Caesar?
What is your name? It is... Yes, Caesar, there we go. I was sort of like... It was like, it begins with a C and it's not Crowley. Okay, get in there, lad. And I give him this... oh yeah, Mage Armor was the papery effect, not the... Oh no, that wouldn't matter. I cast Mage Armor on Caesar.
Oh, nice. You can cast it twice and on a different subject. So Caesar now has...
I think I can. Hang on a minute. So just let me check.
unless it says range self, but maybe it does
touch.
say range self. Oh, just touch.
Says-
Okay, so yeah, it can be on whoever you want.
Does it look as if I've got like text tattoos all over my body
Yeah,
that I never used to have before?
Yeah,
you've now
that
got
sounds good.
moving, swiveling tattoos on your body.
Sweet tats, dude.
Sweet.
I must
dad,
admit,
bro.
this is quite a nice combo because it's literally only useful for people that don't wear armor.
People with high dex, right?
Just a note. What is
yeah.
your?
But it's
don't-
still plus 3 AC, irrelevant to what it is.
It might not be because monks get to calculate their AC in another way, so he will take whichever is better out of this and his monk AC.
I have no idea then. Is this even a worthwhile endeavor? What is your base AC right
what's
now?
your AC now, anyway?
12.
12.
I don't
Okay.
Actually, I
You
think
don't
that
know?
might actually be wrong.
That feels
That's gotta
low
be
for
wrong.
a melee based cast.
What's your dex mod?
2.
What's your wisdom mod?
0. No, it's right. It's
Okay.
either Dex or Dex plus Wisdom, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it
I
is.
So you
wrong.
have 0
I didn't-
wisdom.
It's pretty lame. I didn't stat that correctly. Take advantage of it, but so this is better than 13.
So 13 plus
you-
2, your AC would
Yeah.
be 15.
Oh, great.
Nice. But you can re-examine that if you feel like you allocated it incorrectly after the session or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna ask whether I can change some stuff, but
Yeah, you totally can change it. This is our first session after all. Cool. So that's the end of your turn. Is there anything else Professor Philippe wants to do?
I regain the hit points on my arcane shield or whatever it's called because I cast another abjuration spell.
Cool. I think
Oh,
you were
so you
sweet
get-
anyway, but it's refreshed. Is that the idea?
So Bear, do you want to?
Every time he casts an abjuration spell after the first one, it gains double the spell level's health.
Oh, okay.
So the
so you-
first time each day he casts an abjuration spell, he gets the base 15, and then every time he casts a spell, he casts a level 1 spell, so it goes up 2 hit points basically.
So it's
Up
17
to the
shield now,
max,
basically.
or
No,
Yeah,
it's
go
no
for
because
it,
I
Fury.
spent 4 of them protecting our dwarf friend that's now chunky. So I went down to 11, and now I've cast another abjuration spell at level 1, so it's up to 13.
okay, but if you hadn't lost any, would it go
I'll
up to
check- I'll
17?
check.
No, no, maximum of 15. It
Oh,
cannot go
okay.
higher.
That
Yeah,
works
that
out
was-
well.
I need to spend them.
Just out of
Sweet.
interest.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. All right. Is there anything else for that turn?
Nope, that is my turn.
Sweet. Caesar, you feel this bookish, tattooed, swirling patterns around you.
I heard that being a nerd was cool, so
You heard correctly.
Oh,
yeah. Maybe I can see fortune in my.
It's cool if you're
future.
good at it.
Oh shit. Well,
Just like
with
all
that,
things.
My movement speed is 40 because I'm a monk. I don't know why that really means anything, but that does mean I can get all the way behind these guys. Actually, they might take attacks of opportunity, so I might not do that.
Yeah, each one you
Um,
leave the range of would be able to
I
opportunity
mean, you
attack
can move through Akal's space because he's a friendly, but then you would have trouble probably getting past. You'd probably go left, and then you'd have to leave this guy's range, and probably have to do like an athletics check to barge past him because he's a enemy, rather than just letting you walk through.
Yeah, so I'll just end up here.
Okay, so on top
Can you
of the
stand
sort of
on that thing?
mechanical hammer.
Oh, is that what that is?
Is there space for him to stand there?
Yeah, I'm saying that the head of the hammer is down here, so you can stand on the sort of forefront.
Is it moving?
Yeah,
Is
it's sort of
there a-
it's in the ceiling and it comes down really hard over here. I'll draw a little shape for you.
Oh, so he's under the shaft of it. Is that?
No, it comes from the ceiling, so he's just in like a blank section.
Oh,
probably.
Why do I
right, it's
feel
a-
we're going to try and move something under that?
I
That's
see.
what I
was thinking.
It's a video game crusher, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I want to.
He's in the conveyor belt section, let's say.
Right.
But it's not a mechanical one, it's just rollers.
Is
so
the
he's
conveyor
not
belt
getting
moving
pulled.
towards?
No, it's just
towards
like
it?
imagine like ancient Egypt moving blocks. It's just like a series of metal rollers.
Okay. Well. Fine. So
What,
would
you're
you,
upset
will you
about
say,
the rollers?
No. Is this, I'm just thinking about in my head what I want to do. So you said if I move to this space here, this guy would attack, right?
Well, no, technically you're still within his melee range, so I would say that you're
Right.
fine if you hop up on this hammer.
No, I'm gonna end up here because domestically I don't want to be on it because I want to throw him onto it.
Okay, in that case, you don't get an opportunity attack because, again, you're still within his range, but you do need to barge past him, so just give me an athletics check.
Do.
Oh, wow. Okay, natural 20. This guy rolls a
Barge like a
13.
man has
You just
never barged
bust past
before.
him, your bulk basically pressing him up against the wall temporarily and squeezing him against it. Sweet.
Like, whilst I'm squeezing him against him, am I able to have advantage on a grapple check to grab him?
I'll say you're moving. I can't think of a good reason why it would help you grapple. If you were doing something that it would help you with, then maybe.
Okay, fine. So can I grapple?
Go, grapple away.
Is that a strength check?
Yeah, athletics, I believe.
I think. Great.
Oh, nice. 22. He rolls a 9. You've grappled him.
So,
Nice. Okay, that's your action. Do you have anything else you want to do? Bonus, talk to someone?
so that's my action. Can I, like, there's other stuff you can spend key points on.
It's like buying stuff in a store.
It is. It really. I've got too many options. So I've used an action. Does that count as an
many
attack or
cooks.
as an interaction?
It's a grapple action, so you've used your action. Do you have something else you want to do that's in that realm?
Well, if I can't attack, then there's nothing else I can do.
Okay,
But I've grappled
cool.
him. So.
We'll come back to you in a little bit. This comes back to Fiery Boy's turn. Fiery Boy is...
Why can't you attack? You can attack if you can attack someone you're grappling.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, you have more than one attack. Yeah. Sorry, you've used your, action. But if monks have things like bonus actions and other things that enable you to attack, you can definitely use those.
Sorry, that's the way you said that meant that I thought that I didn't have an
Sorry.
attack anymore.
I forgot that monks can attack with bonus actions and stuff. That's my mistake.
Yeah.
So I will attack.
Yes, go for it.
But I don't want to attack him. I want to throw him onto
Oh,
the
okay.
belt.
Okay. I mean, we're stretching the rules a little bit, but it seems fun because you're already grappling him. So do another athletics check to see if you can throw him. Nice. Okay. I'll say with a 13, you managed to throw him onto this thing because you've already grappled him. You've already pushed past him. It's bigger than 10. I think it's going to be great. So we'll put him on this thing. Again, it's not a mechanical roller, so he's not like if you
Is
push
he prone
him,
on it though?
I'll say his momentum is going to take him there pretty soon. So we're going to see what happens on his turn.
It's bigger than 10, and I like it.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. But I want to see what happens on his turn because it'll just be fun. Okay, cool. So is that the end of your turn now?
Yes.
Okay, so Fiery Boy, who was he attacking?
Fiery boy.
Was he attacking the mage? I can't remember.
Well, everyone's around. Yeah, he was attacking the mage last, but everyone's around him, so he'll just pick randomly.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. He's choosing between 4 targets. Okay, so 4. 1, 2.
Funny,
3,
we didn't even realize that was a mage. Just thought it was a guy in armor.
Yeah.
He's gonna attack the guy behind him, and he's gonna do it. Wait for it. He's gonna do it like this. Oh wow, 5 slashing damage, big hit.
That's my boy.
Okay, and
Good
then
spell.
he's gonna attack again. 16 does hit, and he's gonna do 4 slashing damage again. Wait, there it is. So much stuff on the screen, and he looks very pleased with himself, and you just see rage in his eyes, or Akal does, and so does the Sumo Caesar. Next up is Scrammel's turn.
Right, we should try and kill some things. I'm not hidden, so I should use my cunning action to hide first, and then shoot some things. I think I'm just gonna take pot shots from afar, given the cluster that is in that room. Yeah, I think that's the move. Right, so I've got a cunning action hide with 25.
You feel
And I'm gonna
pretty
pop
stealthed.
out. And which one? Remind me which ones have are looking hurt.
This one by the door has taken some hits. This one at the back has 2, and Fiery Boy some, but not many. And this
Okay.
one on the conveyor belt looks pretty hearty.
I'll I'll shoot the one at the back then if I can hit that one. If it's taken a bit of damage.
To be honest, a Carl is pretty fucking enormous, so you'd have trouble probably. I mean, I think
I
technically.
can shoot the closer one if that's good.
Yeah, that's probably better. Go for that one.
I'll go for the close one then.
Okay, sweet.
And I do so, and I've hidden, so I do so with advantage.
Yeah, go for it.
15.
15 does not hit. Your arrow hits the
Alright.
back of a Carl's thigh, but it hits a leather part, so he's not damaged. And he goes, "Oh, jeez."
Rolls.
Is there anything else you want to do?
I can't hide again, can I? Having just shot a Carl.
Well, also having used your cunning action to hide
Yeah,
at the
no.
beginning. Yeah.
I'd like to just duck then, not
Okay.
actually hide, just to like avert my eyes from a Carl.
Okay, I'll say you have half cover behind the anvil. How does that sound?
I mean, yeah, I was just looking for thematical, like,
Yeah.
oh, whoops, wasn't me?
Yeah, trying to
Whistle
get away
nonchalantly
before
and
the
put
guy
my longbow behind my
I like
back.
how literally no one else is using arrows. He's just like, where did that arrow come from?
That could have been anyone, I say, with my a longbow sticking up behind my
Yeah.
head.
So Akal is going to use his enraged, sort of prickled
fight scramble.
thigh and channel that energy into hitting this guy across from him with his war pick, and he's going to do so quite well with 17. And he's going to he can use his D8 on damage, can't he?
Yes, he can.
Cool. So I'm going to do 2d8 plus 2 firstly.
I
Oh
love
wow,
that
that's a
versatile.
terrible roll. Okay, so that's 2, and then he's going to roll his D8 of inspiration, 6, so that's 8 plus 2 is
Versatile inspiration.
10. So he basically crushes almost this guy to death opposite him, and it seems to be barely clinging to life. And he says, "Ha ha ha! That's what you get for taking my forge, you filthy, flaming bastard!" And he seems to be loving life over there. The Fire Newt Warrior's turn. This is where it's going to get juicy. I'm going to say, how would this resolve? Okay, so this guy is too fucked up to really do much of any consequence. This guy over here is probably at the wrong angle. There's nothing that can save him. His friends can't save him. So what's going to happen is the momentum takes him under the hammer, and he is going to take 5d10 damage. He takes 33 bludgeoning damage to the torso and disappears entirely. But that does mean, now that I've established the damage of this power hammer, that if any of you guys accidentally get pushed or shoved into it, things are going to go not so good. So
That could kill me.
It's fine. We have healers in
Hey,
the party.
Professor, get involved.
Like, I honestly don't think healing will be the necessary thing. I think putting my limbs back together will be the.
I say we have healers in the party, but I think we have healer in the party.
I'm able to
Okay.
heal myself.
So this
Okay,
guy,
all right, I'll allow it. That's
It was
healers.
everyone with an hour.
this guy is gonna run away from the seemingly traitorous Fire Newt and focus on this sumo that seems to be crushing his actual friends, and he's gonna take an attack of
Yeah.
opportunity
Go for it,
from
fiery boy.
this guy. So that means he's gonna do a scimitar attack. Unfortunately, he rolls a 5 and just slashes into the air with rage in his eyes, but not so much on the follow through. So this guy is going to attack the sumo for. Does an 18 hit the sumo?
It does.
I feel like he's got so many nicknames, but I'm sorry, I should be calling him by Caesar. Okay, so that's 7 slashing damage.
Just whatever. It's this is a like sumo name. Yeah, it hits. So let me take the damage.
Nice. And then he's going to try and attack you again. Except this time he rolls an 8, so fails, I imagine, to hit you.
Yep.
Cool.
So 7.
So this guy, I'm just going to get rid of the inspiration here because that's been used now. This guy is going to, with his last breath, he's going to try to strike this enormous fucking dwarf. But he misses big time, and he's going to try and hit again, and he misses again, bleeding onto the ground with flames and smoke hitting the ceiling. He can't even connect with a strike. That is Jex's turn.
All right. I'm gonna give one gentle little poke to the. No, actually, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll give him a poke. Where's my thing go? A rapier. Ooh. So 7 damage to this guy.
Nice. He is absolutely dead.
Sweet. And then I'm gonna roll through my dudes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I can get that far. Roll to the other side of this guy through his space, because I'm a halfling.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to stab at this guy with advantage.
Nice, because you're flanking him. Sweet.
Do, do, do. 19.
19, that hits. Roll damage.
10 damage.
Piercing damage. Goodness gracious me.
Not bad.
You see the form take on this enormous hole in its torso, and he looks to be on death's door.
Sweet.
Is there anything else you want to do?
I think... that is everything for me.
Okay, next up is Professor Fleeb.
The bloodlust has taken Professor Sleeve, but he's also not in a position to really reach anybody. So nonetheless, he still has his dagger drawn and goes screaming into the room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's about as far as he gets.
Okay, sweet. You're there beside Caesar, and you want to potentially stab this fire newt?
Yes, let's go for that.
Okay, cool.
Stabbing away. No, do I just click dagger? Is that gonna work?
Yeah, let's see what happens. Dexterity it should roll
ooh.
for you. Do you have a plus? That looks complicated. You have 2 dexterity modifier?
Yeah, I've got a +2. I don't know what I'm getting the plus.
I think you're
yeah.
proficient in simple weapons, and I think dagger counts as a simple weapon.
Yes. So I've got a dex mod of 2.
Sweet.
Proficiency 3.
Nice.
So I roll a 20 to hit.
You stab vengefully into this fire newt. Roll damage. I think it's 1d4 plus 2 for your dex.
It is. Oh, that didn't work.
S4. I think you meant 1d4.
Yep, there we go. Fat fingers there.
What's an S4?
It's Dota player. Oh, for love of fuck.
Paul, use your fingers to type.
Sometimes the simplest help is the best. Okay, so
The
roll. one-sided 4. Okay, you manage to just take away this fire newt's last breath with your dagger, and you watch it just go into the ground. Nice work. And you start to feel a little bit of relief, and the sort of vengeful knot in your stomach starts to loosen a little bit as you watch its sort of bloody, smoky form just sort of billow across the ground. Nice.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to do?
390 days, you bastard. Let it be known the Professor Fleeb is never captured for 391 days.
Okay, sweet. Next up is Caesar.
So I shout over to our newty friend and go, "Oh, good job in there." It was amazing what you did with that scimitar.
He looks at you with a quizzical, sort of confused expression.
Thumbs up, great big smiles.
Nice. Okay, you do that.
Open the next door for him and get him through.
What's the duration on that spell, by the way?
It is. Let me check. It might be a minute, actually. Yeah, it's a minute.
Okay.
Wait, no, that's the wrong spell I'm looking at. Enemies abound.
Duration.
It is 1 minute.
Okay, so I'll say
10 rounds. It's probably running out soon. Yeah.
I'll say this is the. I don't know. I feel like we've had pretty close to 10 rounds. So let's say this is the last round. Does that seem fair?
Okay.
Okay, cool.
I feel like we've had way less than 10. It's just that because we've got so many things to go through, it feels like it's a lot more.
Well, I mean, you did have that whole separate battle in
I think
one.
the point being is that over a minute has passed.
No, yeah, that's fine.
Cool. All right, so that means Caesar's turn. Does Caesar want to do anything else?
Go grab him, hold him still. I shout.
What's the spell again?
Right, okay, well, I'll go behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And grapple him again.
Okay, make an athletics check.
I'm good at.
Let me read.
Ooh, okay. Let's see what his is. A 9. You successfully grapple him.
Okay.
Nice.
So I'm like, shh, it's okay.
Okay.
We're all friends here. We're all friends.
Okay. I'll say because this is the last round, it's still affecting him now. But does that mean that he rolls a dice or just goes to the person that's grappling him?
He hasn't taken any. Oh,
He has been attacked.
whatever action he's gonna try to do, he'll pick random targets. But if he would just try and break out, then he might just try and break out. If he's just trying to fight, then he might randomly fight the attacker, or he might randomly fight the other guy next to him.
Okay, I'm gonna say he's just gonna try and break out because he can't like exact vengeance on his cuckolded status if he's being grappled. So he's gonna make an athletics check. So a 14. So then you probably have to make the check again because it's contested. So give me another athletics check. A 7. All right. He manages to throw you off, but it takes him a good amount of time to do so, and he sort of stares around the room and starts to, I'll say. He takes a little bit of a walk here to try to get away from you, and you get an attack of opportunity on him. So roll whatever attack you would attack him with.
Don't hurt him!
Oh, you don't have to take the opportunity attack if you
He's
don't
our
want to.
friend!
Obviously, you would know that.
Yeah, you can't even bring yourself to hit him.
Yeah. Either
You
way,
love him too much.
either way, you miss.
I mean, I go to make an unarmed strike, then I think, and just before I actually like make contact with him, I like hold the attack.
Okay, cool. Next up is Scramble.
So fire new to humanoids, right?
They are humanoids, yes.
I'd like to cast Charm Person on our fiery boy.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Let
So
me,
give me the
if I-
language.
At what point does a sentient creature become cheese?
So you attempt to.
I don't. Are we fighting it if we're not actually attacking it?
So some saving throw and does so with advantage if you or your opponents are fighting it. Well, it was just grappled, so it'll do it with advantage. If it fails the saving throw, sorry, is that really attacking?
Well, yeah.
If you're fighting it, yeah, I suppose you're not really fighting it. Fails the saving throw if it is charmed. If it fails, okay, cool.
At
So
least, yeah, if you do this as his spell is wearing off, then he won't see you as an enemy anymore, automatically. He might anyway, but...
Yeah, I'll do it as a normal roll just because it's a nice way for the spells to overlap and it feels like a funny thing to happen.
Spell
but
save DC is 14.
14, but what kind of save is it? Wisdom? Wisdom, okay.
Wisdom.
Okay, he rolls a 12, and therefore he is charmed. So that means he takes your suggestions as like a friendly acquaintance
He
would.
regards us as a friendly acquaintance.
But that doesn't improve your ability to communicate with him if you don't speak his language, right?
but
No.
we're still friends.
Okay, so he
For an
looks
hour.
he looks
We're
at you
friends.
and he sort of lifts his head up, tilts it to the left, and moves his elbow up as well. And you get the sense that in Fire Newt language, that's some sort of greeting.
I return the gesture.
Nice, well done.
I'll
Next
have
up,
moved into the room just for
sweet.
argument's sake. Yeah.
Akal is gonna stomp over towards the water over here and sort of regard it critically and say, "Ugh, this quenching water is disgusting." And he's gonna make a perception check against this door to see, shall we keep this going, fellows? And he's gonna make a perception check. And you can see he's like taken over with his enlarged rage. With a 9, he's like, seems either quiet or sounds like a door. I'm not sure. What do you think we should do? Next up is Jax. I suppose you're out of combat in a way. It depends what he can't. I don't really know, to be honest with you. How about we say he regards you as a friendly acquaintance, but just you. So he'd probably attack the rest. Okay, we'll stay in the order. So Jax, what do you do?
I was hoping to get him onto our side.
Well, if you don't speak Ignan or Draconic, you're gonna have a tricky time.
I mean,
Ignorantly,
he
you
knows...
say.
No, but he knows we're all together, right? He can see that.
Well, he sees you in a group, sure, yeah.
Yeah. So
He's
now,
a really,
I mean,
really racist salamander.
yeah,
He can't
I'm
tell
gonna
the
try
difference.
and feed him.
Okay, all right. What are you gonna feed him?
I'm gonna... Is there anything around? I don't know, I'm gonna take some of our food, a frozen pizza, maybe some of the magma.
Okay. There's no spare magma in the room that you can see.
I'm just gonna try and guess. I'm gonna try and first I'll offer him some of the food that we have
Okay.
and see if he.
Okay.
And we'll all sit around. Yeah, like I gather everyone around. It's like it's short rest time.
Okay, I'm gonna say. I feel like
Only
this
got an
might,
hour.
this might come under. It's not. It's. I suppose it's deception. Is it perform? No, it feels like deception. Okay, give me a deception check.
I'm not lying to this guy anymore.
I suppose, but you're creating the illusion of you guys being like friends when you're not really friends.
Okay. If I'm with my hospitality thing,
Yeah.
if I'm using cook's utensils to try and make him food, do I get advantage? Not advantage. No, it's a D4. It's an extra D4.
To what does that got to do with it? Because you're proficient with it.
If I'm making an ability check that's involving, so the mark of hospitality thing is if you make an ability check involving cook's utensils or a persuasion check, you get to add a D4 to it.
Okay,
Or
sweet. I'm
brewer's
gonna
stuff.
say go for it. You whip up a quick snack using the utensils of a cooking master. Okay.
All right, let's add a D4.
Okay.
16.
I'm gonna roll against this guy's insight just because it'll
Sure.
be more climactic. I think insight is a wisdom stat, right?
Yes.
Okay. So he's got to beat 16. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh,
19.
with a 19,
Because we're like celebrating him.
yeah, you watch him sort of like come over to you with like rage in his eyes, and that is where we will end the session. we'll see what actually that results in, but that was hilarious. That was really well done, guys. I'm very proud of you.